Hey, I'm Arne, founder and CEO of AcademicLabs. In this video, I'm going to highlight why people in lead gen, in sales, account management, business development, at the biggest companies as well as the smallest startups on niche specialized equipment for research use AcademicLabs. We have companies like GenScript, Cytiva, Eurofins, Wuxi, Agilent, and many others from biggest pharma to small startups and anyone in between. They use AcademicLabs. Why are these suppliers using AcademicLabs? Can be for equipment, can be CROs, CDMOs. We have service providers, software solutions for life sciences, and so on. So why do they switch to AcademicLabs? Before they were using other scientific lead gen solutions that are less precise, less comprehensive, and so on. We have people using before only approaches going to events or inbound leads or finding people via grants or publications or via university websites or company databases, all very cumbersome. So there's three main reasons that people eventually switch to AcademicLabs for. One, they don't have enough quality leads. They buy a lot of leads, but there's not enough quality leads. There's too many irrelevant leads. That's the second one. There's too much noise with all leads they get, so they waste all their time burning through irrelevant leads that don't turn into new business. And the third point is low reply rates. Even though if you have enough quality leads, you still need to be able to research the potential customer well, outreach in a tailored way to eventually get a deal or at least getting a meeting booked. So these are the three reasons why people actually switch to AcademicLabs. Why? Because in AcademicLabs basically can scale their hyper-targeted but also personalized outreach to scientific champions and decision makers with really minimal effort. So why AcademicLabs? Well, there's three main reasons. Why we have the most comprehensive database of leads in life sciences. We have research groups, 150,000 research groups in academia from all over the world. We have, you can search any topic, let's say antibody drug conjugates, to see who's doing research on that. In just 1 second, I see 4,000 labs, and I could see which are the universities with most labs if I want to focus my efforts on some of those. I could also not just look at who has published on this or worked on this in the past, but who really published on this in the past year. These 610 groups. Who actually got a grant on this? So let's say those that have had a grant in the last 3 years on antibody drug conjugates, they have money, they have a project running on this, and they published on this. So it could go from very high level, 4,000 labs, to a couple of hundred that published recently on this, and then 30 that also got a grant on this. And we could go into details to see what's actually the lab focusing on. What do they do on antibody drug conjugates? What are the recent publications? I could summarize them and let the AI write an email. Or I could just look at a project and see which ones are going on and understand what are these projects about, how much funding do they get, who is involved, etc. I can see what do they mention specifically on their website, any kind of match for this topic. And then I get the email address and I can reach out. You could just export in one go all the labs and just get email addresses and so on. You could understand what are the key topics to refine your search on any topic. You can see trends on any kind of topic based on keywords. You could do it based on all kinds of criteria that we have available to understand what are maybe certain technologies or certain topics that people focus on. And we have trends for nearly any filter if you would like to understand how a market trend is looking like. So I mentioned 150,000 groups. These are people that can take decisions. They are decision makers. You can understand what they're currently focusing on. It's a right level. It's not just any research. It's really the entity that makes decisions and buys stuff to enable their research. At the same time, we have research. We have 18 million researchers with minimum 3 publications. You can see 78,000 researchers on antibody drug conjugates. We could filter down and say, okay, who has again published in the past year? Because we don't want people who published in the past on any topic. So that's about 11K people. We could look at organization type, only academics, or maybe those at a company or at a therapeutic company or diagnostics company. So we could be very specific here. And then see these 1,800 people, so many at AbbVie, so many at AstraZeneca, and so on. I could look again in the details, could even jump to AbbVie and do research on AbbVie and find who could be the right scientific champion. Let's pick the researchers here on antibody drug conjugates, and I really want those that have maybe patented on this, so maybe a patent in the last year, or maybe published in the last year, or published anywhere in the top journal, whatever I'm interested in, I can pick those. So 146 on this topic. I'm more interested in the topic of potency on antibody drug conjugates, and then I have my set of researchers which I can export, or I can look into the details here, search again in this profile for antibody drug conjugates, and I can even write an email. So select the first publication, ask, write an intro email to offer our ABC development service to help this researcher, Andrew Phillips. And then it looks at the 10 most relevant publications. I could also sort by the most recent ones. It will look at the abstract, the date, the authors, the affiliations, journal, and then automatically write me this email. So this is purely based on these publications. It's of course way too long. I didn't specify it should be a short intro email according to a certain framework, etc. But you can play with all these kind of criteria to tailor your outreach to anyone. And you really have this kind of very targeted icebreakers or personalized icebreakers. Really make your offering fitting very well with the kind of research someone is doing, which we noticed strongly increases reply rates. We could also do similarly for companies. So we just look at all the antibody drug conjugates. We, by the way, have 130,000 companies. If I just remove the query here, so you can see it. If you just look at companies with less than 500 employees, 92,000. If I pick the companies with, let's say, in certain development stage, like no clinical trials, 121,000, you can go by development stage. We can go by number of employees. If you pick those that started in the last 10 years, you have 31,000 companies started in the last 10 years. You could go by funding rounds. So many different options by modality, by therapeutic area, US, state, country, a lot of options. So if I search again for antibody drug conjugates, we see matches here and a lot of content. So you can see the about, you can see the people, publications, trials, pages, stage of the company. You can go to the pipeline page in one click, or you can just search in one click through all this information and see who they collaborate with, which academics they work with, what are the topics they focus on, what patents do they have, do they have any recent patents that signals they're investing in an area, what do they mention on the web page, etc. And then you can get the contact details. We have an option for that as well, or to find even any kind of contact at a company. So that was very quickly just many options to filter down companies by trials, by patents, by grants, by funding stage, etc. You could also, for projects, which is very commonly used by people in this kind of role, to see, okay, who has funded projects that are ongoing at the moment, sorted by highest funding amount, and who the hell are these organizations? I can actually look at any company, the non-academic organizations, for example, anywhere in the world. So it shows me here in Travac, it shows me companies here, it shows me in the US, so non-academic, so it's including as well hospitals, but not universities. So any kind of organization that has had a grant in the past 3 years started on this topic. I could then filter to find more about any kind of company by just opening their page. I could even analyze with AI and write an email to each of these 10 project PIs, like write for each of these 10 projects a short, convincing email with a goal to book an intro meeting to offer our unique ADC technology. So now it will look at the project descriptions, the parties involved, and so on. And using the latest model of OpenAI, it will try to write an email that is tailored for each of those projects. Now it's 10 projects, but what we will enable in the next couple of weeks is that you can do it for hundreds of projects. So in one click, you get tailored emails for each of those projects. That makes life so much easier for people reaching out individually, one by one, but even to also scale up the outreach in a highly targeted way. For example, for the first project, see a subject line, which I didn't specify anything about subject lines here, but you can apply frameworks, etc. And then you see here the message relating to the project, etc. We see it for the second project, the third one, fourth one. So you can see it's already much more convincing if it seems for people that you checked what they're doing, what they're focused on, and you don't have to spend time on this. It really connects the dots for you, which makes your life so much easier. So that's something you can do already now. Soon you can do like hundreds of projects at once to get like an email for all of those. And we have similar ways that you can use it for publication, for patents, for news, for clinical studies, for research happening at universities at the moment. So there's a lot more we can show you to help you leverage this database, this rich current information about who's doing what in life science. That's really the focus of what we do, to help you basically see who's currently doing what in science worldwide and in science, and helping companies in pharma, which were very demanding, like J&J, GSK, Merck, and so on. It really helped us to build out this very quality platform that has successfully helped all our customers to find the right leads, not too much noise, and help them to research their customers, and with AI, save a lot of time to write tailored emails so they can scale in a hyper-targeted and personalized way the outreach. I hope this helps. I hope you're potentially interested in exploring how this can help you. We're happy to set up a live demo and check for some of your cases how this could potentially help you. By the way, we're also more affordable than other typical lead gen solutions in the market. So we're not only providing better quality results, we also try to democratize access. So a lot more people in a commercial role can benefit from this. All right, if you're interested, you know where to find us, and have a great day. All right, take care. Bye-bye.